Alrighty, people. So, we're back to address the issues and 3.11 coming up. So, the thing I'm always getting is, cluster jewels are gone, therefore the build won't live. I've stated this a million times. This is what the tree looks like, without cluster jewels. Okay? So, this is the way I recommend doing the build. For reference, for people that are like, oh, you're level 100, that's OP. Just put a thread of hope here to reach these jewels, and you can actually grab these attack speed ones. I was lazy, didn't really want to respec anything, so I just spent the points to get up there manually, which is, roughly enough or whatever. So, yeah. Then it's just like, oh, dude, you've got a +4 Carcass Jack. That's also OP, apparently. So, regular Carcass Jack. You've got a +1 arrow Quill Rain. Okay, there it is, dude. There's a regular Quill Rain. I do have the Helm enchant. I could probably get rid of it if I really wanted to, but I'm just not going to, because it's one thing to fork out for. These were 1x all league. We bought enough of them to corrupt them, for crying out loud. This thing here, it's got a damage roll and the additional arrow. You can awaken or slam this thing together. Okay, so if you're telling me you can't get this and isolate it at some point and then just multi-mod it, the movement speed does nothing. It's quality of life. Okay? And again, self-crafted gear. All it's got, multi-mod, 2 items. Yet again, I crafted this with just aberrant fossils? Yeah, same thing. Aberrant fossils. I paid for these 2. I'm sure you'll be able to readily get these next league. Literally, life res, chaos damage. Life res. Chaos damage multi, attack speed, which is lower than the crafted, by the way. And then just life and res. That's actually nothing special about this, okay? And no cluster jewels. Very important to mention. Okay, so I keep getting the whole thing of like, your footage is fake, no one can afford a plus, this, that, and the other. I'm going to try and be a little bit less negative about it, because this is like my 3rd time recording this, but we're going to go again. Okay? Oh yeah, dudes, Awaken 8 bonus. I just randomly out can go this map. I just want to show you guys that, like, what you guys are complaining about. Apparently I'm not allowed to say that, like, what do you want to call it? I got told that, can't just tell me that you can't run it with just a regular Carcass Jack. It has to be the +4 that's giving you the damage and this, that, and the other. Well, it definitely gives me damage. There's no doubt about that. But does the build not function? I've said this in my last video when I actually bought it out. But for some reason it got, like, what do you call it? Got, like, mislooked over. People were just, like, so adamant that I had the +4 on the whole time, despite me showing footage of back of me in Metamorph, doing the whole game content with just the regular Quill Rain and stuff. So, like, people are like, man, it doesn't work without this stuff. It's just like, doesn't it? There's your tier 16 map off links alone. So, get the tree, get the Thread of Hope. Pretty much level 84 will get you this level of damage. No +4 Carcass Jack. No shenanigans. There's the map mods. A lot of people are they're really hard up on this idea that the build actually functions the way it's intended. So, I guess the next thing to show you guys is what's going to happen with it, okay? So, what's going to happen in, 3.11, the build destroyer. We're still going to use cluster jewels, okay? We're going to swap out, Eternal Suffering, Student of Decay. Oh no, man, we take a slight hit to our chaos dot damage, sorry, our skill duration. Skill duration is important, right? But for preloaded damage. For actual damage, it's just our damage multiplied out, right? So, this is what preloaded damage is, okay? If I sit here and do this, preloaded damage. By the way, you actually realize right now that my mana's a little bit messed up, so I'm not even getting my full attack speed. So, even though this is kind of my attack speed, my actual attack speed's better. I need to reserve a little bit less mana. But, anyway. Long story short, we're actually going to get more defenses. That's literally all that's going to happen. We lose a small amount of damage. So, that's with my old gear, by the way. So, we go in here. My high tier, that's my old damage, old rings, so there it is, that's the rings we had in the video. That's my high tier belt that was upgraded. I think it's got the old quiver though, right? It's got my old quiver, right? There it is. That's my old quiver, which is chaos without the additional arrow and attack speed. Okay, so that's my old gear. I'm going to update this and fix this for you guys so it's all neat and it's just all well listed. So we still got the thingos there. By the way, I have a min-maxed version with a Headhunter, which maybe you guys would be interested in, but don't know if I feel like releasing it. A lot of people, on the hate train, so, if I release a min-maxed version, people will just probably conflate that with the actual version of the build. Same thing with the cluster jewels, right? So anyway, yeah, what do we got? What has changed? Basically, we're dropping Iron Reflexes for a better defense, and we're gaining Wind Dancer. We're losing a small amount of damage off the top end, and the bottom end, as in like the no cluster version, is the exact same. It's the exact same. I did all content. Cyrus Awaken at 8 with a regular Carcass Jack, a Devoto's that had the enchant, so maybe you need the enchant. I don't think you do, but whatever. Just get a +1 arrow somewhere, and just chaos damage on gear. This is the same shit pair of gloves that I have had since the start of the league. Okay? Does anything like that look super impressive? Same one I've had all league. My public is, all my stuff is public. Grab it all, use it. I'm kind of sick of defending this build at this point, but long story short, maybe, this is the eye level 84 tree from the start, right? Just using the Thread of Hope to get the same thing. I grabbed these ones here initially. You might want to change that up, man. You can do whatever you guys want. It's not converted just yet, so I still need to go over and fix it all, which is why I haven't advertised it. But yeah, there you go, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to gain Divine Flesh. What is Divine Flesh? Converts, elemental damage to Chaos. We then reach Chaos Cap. Doesn't show it here, obviously, because it can't import Divine Flesh, but that's the 10 over we are. We're actually at 86, basically. So we're at 86. Purely off the tree. There's no chaos damage on any of my gear, aside from, ironically enough, my Devoto's Devotion. Okay? Pick it up off the tree here. We get it off of Student of Decay. This actually allows us to reach the cap for Divine Flesh. So we take a bunch of reduced damage from Elemental. We now also get Wind Dancer. So when we do get hit with our layers or whatever, 20% less damage taken when we finally take a hit. We have Blind because we went Flesh and Stone. We have Acro, Phase Acro. Amazing layers of defense. We have Permanent Flask. We have Hardened Scars for Fortify. So we have 60% of damage coming at us mitigated. Pretty much as a minimum, right? Along with dodge, evasion, and being ranged. Being a super zoomer, by the way. We're really, really fast. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. But and we barely took a damage loss. We have a reasonable amount of life. Oh, where is the life? 5.3k with my current gear. So I'm going to lose a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to sacrifice that for more defenses. A lot more defenses. Yet again, people are all like, oh man, Trickster's, god tier defense. You have literally got an ES layer that takes full damage. You can barely spec into this without losing some of your ES. I don't want to go into it too much, but we have many, many layers of defense. Many layers, not including the fact that we've got permanent regen because we got a hybrid flask constantly cranking, Fortify, Wind Dancer, all that stuff, man. And now we've got another defensive layer that's even better on top, along with a decent amount of EHP and an insane amount of damage, by the way. An insane amount of damage. But maybe some of you guys out there aren't impressed by that, okay? So I want to show you guys a couple of things. This is full POB Warrior. So, in the min-max version, right, I advocate, and I've proven it before, I'm not going to bother doing another bit of footage here for this, but you can permanently keep up Tailwind, okay? Get Tailwind on boots. Smack Tailwind on. You're not going to notice this while mapping so much, but you are going to have this up at a pretty much 100% uptime on bosses, okay? Because you've got so many attacks per second that you're constantly proccing this, even with a small amount of crit. I tested it with my gear, just throwing on a pair of boots. Maybe I will add footage of this. Also, I always lower my damage to 6 pods per second, because I can guarantee that for the average player, okay? We can go up to 8. Then it's okay, well, what else do we get? Well, God forbid I actually use those extra slots that I have, right? As you guys know, I have a lot of spare slots. Let's enable a Vile Haste, dude. Because, that's what POB Warriors do. I don't like doing it, but you guys seem to be a big fan of it. So here it is, boys. Here's the actual damage numbers so that you guys can get your little hard-ons, okay? There it is, dude. With Frenzy Charges, with everything up. Look at that, dude. 29 mil damage. With proper min-max gear. That is with a Headhunter. Like I said, I might exclude this from the final version of the build. I'm probably going to neaten up the gear and make it look a bit nicer. And make it, worse so that people can feel better about the damage. It's so weird to me that people are, they're so stuck on this number that they don't even realize that, yet again, POB doesn't even calculate this correctly. I want to show you guys this, yet again. Mirage Archer isn't even calculated in the build. Never calculated, guys. For anyone that's actually watched me play this build or come over to the stream and seen this, I literally kill the entire game with my Mirage Archer, aside from Cyrus the Awakener. We've killed Guardians with my Mirage Archer. And it was still quick. It was still very quick. So, you know, is the build dead going forward? No. Can you do it without a +4 Carcass Jack, despite, you know, people saying it's not fair to say that you can't do it? You're fine. You don't need a +4 Carcass Jack. It's a quality of life thing. Can the build be improved upon? Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's with like no gear. Rip. That was an accident. But yeah, I still haven't even done like the League Starter version. Long story short, get a Carcass Jack, get a Devotos, get a Quill Rain. It actually carries you all the way through endgame. You do not need anything besides levels and gems. That's just been proven here. Maybe you're not happy with the fact that I'm using Awakened Gems. Don't use them. Don't use them. I'm sure you've still got enough damage to kill red tier maps. Toxic Rain is strong, guys. It is strong. Maybe you think, you know, you can't get this gear. This is all Aberrant Fossil spammed. This is a, you know, I'm going to try and dial back my language here, but it's not a very good, well, it is a good unique, right? But it's perfect for this build. Okay? All the work has been done for you. Okay? No faked footage, you know, map mods for anyone that, you know, was worried. Look, it's got more life on it, you know? Yet again, Awaken A. TLDR, guys. It is fine. Maybe I'm just going to do this live for you as well. There's a lot of people that are worried about HEADHUNTer, right? So this is going to add, you know, a couple minutes to it. I'm already going over. I'm rambling as usual. I'm just going to do this real quick for you guys. Hopefully I don't mess it up. So this is, I haven't even tested this without all my proper gear. So this is still with shit gear. We're not res capped, so there's a good chance we die doing this. We're res capped in one res. So it's not ideal for me. Gonna grab a map real quick. We're gonna grab a canyon. Doesn't really work too well without juice, but you know, a lot of people are, you know, scared about, you know, self curse going away, and they're probably wondering why I have a Headhunter on the build. This is not ideal. I would actually, you know, ideally want Sextants on this, but I suppose I'll get away with it, right? Yep, should be fine. Right, does this thing work? Because the damage comes from the build, right? Essentially, it means that it works with the Headhunter. So if this is for people that, you know, like the idea of a Headhunter maybe. Oh, I should have put Legion Scarabs on at least. But if you've got enough rare monsters, man, you can just slap a Headhunter on and get extra speed for free. Not actually a thing. And then you start to zoom. This is one of the few builds that, because it functions well without a Headhunter, and Headhunter is an additive. As in, like, if I'm not self-curse, it means literally nothing to me, dude. We can just get up a couple of free charges. You know, it depends on how you want to zoom doing this thing, but with more juice comes, you know, more reward. We've had this thing as high as 50 plus stacks. God forbid I put Legion on this thing. Nice. That is a nice ending there. See that, boys? Rewarded for my efforts. Rewarded for my efforts. So I'm going to finish on that. That's an absolute high for me. Free Cortex, boys. Long story short, the build is fine. Headhunter is going to be amazing on this build. I would actually recommend people grab it. You don't even lose a lot of damage for it. This build has not been min-maxed fully. This build has not been explored fully. We are gaining more defenses. We are losing a small amount of damage off the top end. It can afford it. For reference, we had about 40 mil DPS before. Probably more because it wasn't even calculated, because Mirage Archer is never taken into consideration, and it really should be, because it's a massive part of our damage. It works, guys. Do not worry about Toxic Rain in 3.11, because the worst case scenario, get rid of your cluster jewels and use this tree if you truly feel like you won't be able to do content. Grab a Headhunter, boys. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Remember that this is free information when you leave those nasty comments about me, you know what I mean? I've done everything I possibly can to prove that this build works and functions the way that I have showed you. If you still don't believe it, don't play it. Fake build, fake footage. Catch me over on Twitch, guys. You know, the more people we get over there, the more people I can showcase builds to, the more people I can, you know, hopefully convince that this is a fun way to play the game. Have fun, guys. Peace out.